Thanks for that introduction. Before I say anything, let this be an act of love and not a performance. So, obviously, I've been leading as Helena said, I've been down the back of the field in my little kingdom all week with all the youth. But I was chatting to some of the youth this morning who are going to come up and speak now, and I was saying I would not have been anywhere else this week. This is my first experience of New Dawn, and I feel like I haven't experienced New Dawn up here, but I've had my New Dawn down there with the youth, and it's been absolutely exceptional. It's been wonderful. Yesterday we had several youth who prepared talks, and they talked to the youth yesterday. So the theme of yesterday basically revolved around getting to know yourself, getting to know God, and then building and maintaining that relationship with God. Without me knowing, I've been trying to plan this, I think, since January, and I've been trying to find people to come and do talks, young people, not old fuddy-duddies like myself, but get some young sort of faces to come in and speak to the young people. They come and speak to them at their level. And we had a few different people over a couple of months, and then somebody said to me this week, God's never late, but sometimes he cuts it close. And on Saturday night, I had a conversation with a young man called Luke from Australia, and Luke just stepped in at the last minute and offered to do the talk. And it was nice because he was the only kind of male voice that the young people were going to hear from a young perspective. And I already had a young lady called Olivia who was already doing a talk. And I didn't, without me knowing, I literally found this out last night after the talks were over. Apparently Luke had come up for Olivia's first communion or confirmation earlier this year. So I joined the Men of St. Joseph in October, and I think it was like the second week after I kind of joined the Men of St. Joseph, Olivia was actually confirmed. So she had already had her baptism as a child, but she never had her confirmation. So in October this year, she had her confirmation. And Luke, who is from Australia, living in London, was actually at her confirmation this year. And Luke and Olivia actually were prayed over together yesterday and delivered their talks together yesterday. And I had no idea of the connection. I had absolutely no idea that whole dynamic had come together until last night when we were sitting having our dinner, and we were chatting, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, Luke was at Olivia's confirmation," and I was like, "Really?" Because I've been trying to get people to come and do talks all year, and I could not get any young men to come and do this. And like Luke steps in at the last minute, and then he's doing a talk with Olivia, and then you sit down at dinner afterwards and you go, I thought I was planning something. You having a laugh? What's that one? If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Yeah. God had it all planned already. He had it all sorted. And can I just say, yesterday was they sit in that tent and listen to young adults talking about God, talking about their faith in a genuine, real way from here. Because we can do a lot of things. We can stand up here and we can talk about God, and it doesn't mean much if it doesn't come from the heart. And watching young people yesterday speak from their heart about God was just about the most beautiful thing you're ever going to see. And it was so deep, so beautiful, and I think it really elevated the youth to come into an understanding about where they're at. Because God doesn't come to you where you're going to be, he comes to you where you are now. And if you're in the gutter now, that's where he's going to meet you. But he's going to lift you up. Father Stan said last night, there's been many times in his life where he didn't know whether God was there or not, but he was. He didn't realize he was being lifted, but he was being carried. And sometimes in our life, God allows us, he sits us down, he lays us down so that we can be picked up again. And that's a message, youth. Sometimes things aren't going to go your way. Sometimes things are going to get tough. But it's in that toughness where God's going to educate you, where God's going to give you the gifts so that you can then go forward and help others. And that's your mission. These youth sitting here and sitting in the church, this is the lifeblood of this church. Without our youth, our church is dead. We must build up our youth. And this is my challenge to all the youth, and this is my challenge to all the adults. If there's no youth ministry in your parish, do something about it. If you're worried about making mistakes, the only people that don't make mistakes are those who are sitting doing nothing. If you want support, if you want help, if you are inspired to go, I want to get something started in my parish, I want to get a youth program going in my parish, I'm available. The men of the St. Joseph in Stockport and around the country are available. New Dawn and Gary Stevens are available. We will help you, we will support you if you're inspired to do something for our youth, because they are in desperate need of the Holy Spirit. They are in desperate need of God in their lives, and the world is not giving them it. It's not there for them. God needs us to step in. He needs us to give our faith so that he can work through us. But if you aren't going to step out, if you're not going to take the chance, it isn't going to happen. So that's my rallying call. If you want support, if you want to do something with the youth, do it. If you need support, ask. We're hoping in the next year to start a New Dawn youth program. That's the intention. At the minute, God's plan is for me to be patient. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on a venue to do residentials that we can do it at a cost-effective level for our youth. But once we get the venue, once God provides that, we're going to start a New Dawn youth program that's going to run 12 months a year, so that it's not just coming to New Dawn in the summer and then we come back again next summer. We're going to hopefully be running programs all year round. So that's the plan. But in the meantime, while we're getting that set up, if you're inspired and you want to do something, get in contact and we'll put that into place. So without further ado, that's enough from the old folkies up here. You look at these young men, and I don't think they realise it themselves, but I was just talking to Joseph and Nathaniel earlier, and I was saying, you don't even know it, but you're already doing it. You're already leading by example. All week, they have been absolute leaders. They might not have a purple lanyard on, but they're already leading. And that's the call for all you young people as well. You're all leaders now. We need the youth to go out and evangelize those who don't believe. You're to go home now and bring this joy, this fire. So Nathaniel, if you don't, or Joseph, if you don't know what your mission is to bring this fire, this love that you feel back home and to share it. Don't keep it to yourself, share it. Make a friend, be a friend, and bring that friend to Christ.